Today I'll be reviewing Boruto Chapter 49, Prepared. So, this chapter kind of had two feels to it. It was kind of heartfelt because we had what could have been Sasuke's final student-teacher moments with Boruto because of all the death flags that they were giving him in this chapter and in the last. And then we have the end of the chapter where we see all three of them, Boruto, Naruto, and Sasuke, teaming up against Urashiki, or I guess Isshiki. And I definitely didn't see Boruto joining them at the end, which was probably one of the biggest surprises of the chapter. So the chapter starts with Isshiki looking around with his Byakugan and he can't find Kawaki, so he starts questioning random ninja who don't know a thing because they're scrubs. So he ends up just taking one out and heads to the direction of Naruto. And while that's going on, Naruto tells Boruto that he has to evacuate the village with all the other citizens. And at this moment, where I'm thinking Naruto's looking at Boruto as more of a son instead of a ninja. And even though Boruto is a ninja and doesn't have a place in this, I think Naruto, as a father, wouldn't allow Boruto to participate, even if he did. Because in the last chapter, he said Boruto points out that they didn't have a chance last time, and now that he's stronger, they still don't stand a chance. And although Boruto was correct, Naruto wasn't willing to give him an opportunity or a chance to even participate in this battle. So after that, we see Sai and Shikamaru talk about how Sai will take Kawaki to an underground lair that the ninja of this village don't even know about. And I'm guessing it's been around since I'm guessing Danzo times. But the crazy thing about it is that they say techniques like the Byakugan, when Amato suggests that they'll be in plain sight, won't work under there. I think they'll need one more person if it's to guard Kawaki and Amato. One, because we don't know Amato's full intent, because why is he here in the village? Why does he want our help? What couldn't he do with Jigen slash Isshiki that he can do with us? We don't know everything about him. We don't even know how strong he is. He modified literally all of Kara, so there's no way he himself isn't modified in some way. And if he is modified to the level as the others are, who knows how strong he is? For all we know, he can one-shot Sai or Shikamaru at any moment. But I think it will just be Sai guarding them. And I don't think Sai is anywhere near where he needs to be to the point where he could take on someone from Kara. I think they should add Rock Lee to watch over them or in Chocho just because we haven't seen them in the manga in the Boruto era. And I think it would be a pretty good way to include them into the story. But I think if Amato does end up turning on us at this point and just grabs Kawaki for the sake of Isshiki slash Jigen and then escapes, I think Sai will end up being the one dying here. Especially if they don't plan on killing Naruto and Sasuke by the end of this arc, or at least one of them. I don't think it would be right for this arc to end without at least one major casualty. It doesn't have to be a death, but I think that would be the ultimate way to finish this arc. But I don't think we finish this arc without one major casualty or loss. So after that, we get to the encounter of Isshiki and Naruto. And Isshiki is confused because he sealed Naruto away, and now he realizes that Boro has failed him, which is crazy that he doesn't realize that until now. And it makes you wonder where Code is in all of this. Like, is Code aware about who's betrayed who, that Boro's defeated? And will Code appear to help out Isshiki if things start to get rough for him? Maybe even Code could be used as a backup body to Isshiki if Isshiki fails to get Kawaki. And while all of this is going on, we get a conversation between Boruto and Sasuke, since Sasuke asks Shikamaru if he can talk to him. And this is while I was first reading this, I was thought, man, this is really Sasuke's last conversation with Boruto, because that's the way it was feeling as I was reading it. Because Sasuke tells him it'll be a tough battle for him and Naruto to take down Isshiki. And then he talks about how Sarada told him about Boruto's battle with Boro, where he unleashed some incredible power, which is the Boroshiki form. And Boruto says that after listening to Amato, he knows that it was Momoshiki who took him over. And then he says, if only I could control him. And Sasuke says that the Karma's extraction has progressed quite far, which means he might start changing soon. And I think those two lines imply what's probably going to happen within the next two chapters, especially since Boruto decided to join them at the end of the chapter. So I'm guessing Boruto will undergo a change while he's fighting Isshiki, and Momoshiki's power will end up being unleashed. But these next lines of the chapter are what I thought were the most interesting, because Boruto says the thought of dying in battle scares me, but I'm prepared for it like every other shinobi. And him saying prepared is a reference to the chapter's title, and I thought it was amazing to hear that from Boruto, because in the last chapter, Sasuke tells Boruto that he's prepared to die for the village, he and Naruto, at any time, and he asks Boruto if he could do the same, and in this chapter we get that answer. But after that, Boruto says that if his body gets taken over and he stops being himself, he doesn't know what he might do to everyone, and that scares him more. And this conversation gives us some great insight as to who Boruto is as a character right now, because although he's fully dedicated to being a shinobi, he doesn't want to put anyone in harm's way. And I think this was good because people like to rag on Boruto as a character, but I think he's shown great growth since the series began, from all the way when he was a kid till now. And even though he's shown growth, this has always been a part of who his character is. Someone who looks out for his friends and family. So after Isshiki realizes that Boruto failed him, Naruto tells him to pick up where they left off after he asks for Kawaki and he says no. So Isshiki destroys some of the town and then he's just kicking Naruto around. And I know people are upset about Naruto getting kicked around, but Naruto's been rusty since the Sarada Gaiden days. And that was a few years ago from where we are now. Naruto's been rusty basically the entire series, the entire Boruto franchise, or the Boruto part of the series. He's just been rusty because he doesn't train. He does paperwork all day. Otherwise, I think Naruto and Sasuke at full power should be able to defeat Jigen when he came around the first time. I don't know about Isshiki, but I believe if Naruto and Sasuke had been training these past 16 years, both of them, they'd definitely be able to take this dude out. Because Naruto now has the power of every tailed beast, which he didn't have control of when he was first fighting Kaguya. If anything, they should at least be able to seal this guy up the same way they did Kaguya. But that's just my opinion, so maybe that's what they'll do in the next chapter. So, after that, Naruto is getting just kicked around by Jigen. And then Sasuke shows up like the hero he is and says he was preparing, which is probably my second favorite moment of the chapter. Because then Sasuke asks Naruto to just start throwing ninja weapons, which Isshiki just shrinks easily, and then he throws his sword, which he can't shrink, which just leaves him in confusion, and then Boruto pops out, because Boruto had transformed into the sword, and then Sasuke realizes that he can't shrink living things. So Boruto comes out with his Karma and Jogan fully activated and everything, and teleports them to what I presume is Momoshiki's dimension, since Boruto has control over Momoshiki's power to a degree with the Karma. Then we get a flashback showing the sequences that led to this event, and we see Sasuke telling Boruto that even if Momoshiki takes over his body, that he swears to stop him, because that's what he's prepared to do as his teacher, since Naruto won't be able to kill him. And this is some major stuff, because if it actually happens, what will Naruto do? And is Sasuke actually able to kill Boruto if push comes to shove? Pretty easy to say yes, but Sasuke has known Boruto for basically his entire life. Even though he hasn't been there, he's seen Boruto as a child. Even though it seems like they met during the Momoshiki arc, Sasuke was obviously in the village when Boruto and Sarada were babies. I wonder if this is something that'll end up being flipped on its head, and maybe Boruto accidentally kills Sasuke because we see him with Sasuke's headband, sword, and cloak in chapter 1. I think it could happen with pretty good writing and backing it up in a way as to where it doesn't really disrupt the story or is a plot hole or anything. But to Naruto fans who have been watching for 20 years, to see Sasuke be in the light, fall into the darkness, and make his ultimate comeback, and to be where he is now, and then to suddenly just die in such a way, no matter how good the writing is, it's just going to be painful for Naruto fans. Especially long-time fans, because we've been with this character for at least 15 to 20 years. If you just started Boruto a month or two ago, or when Boruto started, you started the Naruto franchise around then, and made your way to Boruto up to this point, and it's been less than half a decade, it's probably going to seem like it's just well written and part of the story, but to longtime fans, it's just not going to seem that way. Even if all the death flags have been perfectly planted, it's just not going to be something a longtime Naruto fan is going to want to see. So after that, Boruto asks Sasuke if he could borrow his headband just like he did in the Momoshiki fight, and Sasuke says it's valuable, so he better return it in person. And Boruto says, "Yeah, it's a promise," with a determined look on his face. And those lines could lead to two possible situations based on what we've seen from episode 1. One is that Sasuke dies and Boruto can never return the headband. This chapter seems to be setting up what could be Sasuke's last speech to Boruto. But Boruto is with Naruto and Sasuke now, so I'm not too sure how that's gonna pan out if it does happen. And the second situation that could happen is Sasuke lets Boruto keep the headband after this battle, and that he's just in the background scene somewhere for that scene we see in chapter 1. But let's get back to the chapter. So after Boruto teleports himself and Isshiki, Naruto is shocked because he says it's just like the space-time ninjutsu that Isshiki used, and Sasuke tells Naruto that it's what he was prepared to do. And this was probably surprising to all the fans too, because we never saw Boruto practice or using space-time ninjutsu. I think the last time we saw him activate it was by accident in one of the earlier episodes during the Sumire arc, where they went to the Niue dimension. And this isn't even that same dimension, this seems to be a different place entirely. Which does make me think that this could actually just be Momoshiki's dimensions, the ones he has access to. Because we even see Isshiki say, "How much of Momoshiki's karma can this brat use?" Then Naruto and Sasuke arrive using Sasuke's space-time ninjutsu to teleport them, and it's good that Sasuke only had to teleport himself and Naruto, because now he has more chakra in his reserves. So now we won't have a situation like in the anime where he's suddenly out of chakra. And with Boruto being another space-time ninjutsu user there, I guess he can help them get home even if Sasuke goes all out and battles himself this time. But on the last page, we also see Boruto says that he did it without practice, so I'm guessing Sasuke helped him out in some way. But Naruto calls him a fool, and Boruto just says all you need to do now is take him down, easier said than done. And Isshiki is basically like a whole new enemy this time. With Jigen, he had the power to shrink and control things and create chakra rods, and he was giving Naruto and Sasuke plenty of problems then. But now he has all these other new abilities, and who knows what else. If his eye is based on the Dharma wheel, he'll have at least 8 different abilities. The only way they leave this, both Naruto and Sasuke leave this battle with a win or both alive, is that his body runs out of energy before he can finish fighting. It makes you wonder how Boruto is going to contribute in this battle, since the only way he'll be useful is if he harnesses the power of the Karma Seal, which he kind of already used to get here, so I don't think he'll be using that for a while. Or we see Momoshiki take over, and if Momoshiki does take over, he has to be on Naruto, Sasuke's side, and not Isshiki's. So I guess when you look at it from that regard, this was a pretty good setup chapter for what's to come in the near and late future. But let me know what you thought of this chapter in the comment section below. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. I'll be doing a Boruto review tomorrow if I have the time. Thanks for watching, and bye.